EKSE is a bit behind because he no longer rather calls himself Mr. Weekender.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Presenter now.
Come on,
because
dog.
he's the presenter of a live show. So, he's upgraded a little bit. But then again, welcome to the biggest youth show in the motherland. Let's get straight into the discussion for today. World AIDS Day takes place on the 1st of December. Each and every year, it's an opportunity for all of us to get to unite and get to know more about a World HIV Day, to show support with people who are suffering with HIV, and just to know more about the day in general. World AIDS Day was first of the Global Health Day that was held in 1988.
Yes, and today we do have Umtu Osoka all the way from Fundza. He's the community coordinator. He goes by the name of Tennille Rode. Rodman, welcome to the show, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
I'm good too. Let's get straight into it.
Yes.
The importance of this day. Why is it important?
World AIDS Day was first commemorated in 1988. It is a day to help unite and spread awareness on the day, to help end the spread of HIV and to also remember those we've lost due to the disease. And this year's theme is Equalize. The World Health Organization is calling on leaders across the globe to unite and equalize access to very important HIV services, particularly to children and key populations.
Yeah, and then I want to just talk about something. When I first found out about HIV, I was pretty young.
Yes.
I was pretty young lady, but now I've grown up. Obviously, we've been learning more and more about HIV and AIDS. I feel like at the beginning we were addressing the stigma of HIV is so dangerous and you can't live around people with HIV. Now the current stigma that we're facing is the fact that HIV is curable, or you can live with it, it's manageable when it comes with ARVs. So therefore people are not as afraid to maybe be reckless around maybe having unsafe sex or using needles they haven't seen. Do you think that is the truth in this current day and age?
We are unsure of that, but throughout October, we ran a series of 6 workshops to understand how the youth and what they think around HIV. And it was so interesting to know how they think. So they've also mentioned they understand the dangers of the disease, but they also understand condomizing. So we could say that we attribute that to that most of them are surrounded by people that receive HIV treatment, and is it friends, parents, or just neighbors, and so they know that HIV is no longer a death sentence. It could be manageable with the right treatment.
Okay, so saying that with the right treatment, you can treat it and
manageable
stuff. So you'd find that when it comes to how people, what Lua said, that they know that, okay, this is it's dangerous, but now you tell people they're comfortable around it, they're willing to, because for instance, when you go out and going to errands or stuff, we know these days, and people don't really pay attention to such stuff that, okay, you can actually get infected. So how do we actually get to, because you can bring services to people to be like, okay, these are the ways to prevent, but you'd find people not actually taking the steps to do that. So how do we help people to actually get to, do we become stricter with the rules? What other ways we can find to actually tackle that?
We can attribute that to some of the misconceptions that still live throughout this day, that people do not want to get tested because they do not want to find out that they actually have this disease, because they feel like they're going to be ostracized from their communities. The curriculum has started including HIV-related information, but it's still not enough. We ourselves as the people need to do more in terms of educating.
I want to say that, as I said, from a young age, I was learning about HIV and AIDS, learning about the preventions, etc. Why do you think it's still a rising number, even though we've had all the education that we have? Didn't you not learn about HIV when you were younger?
Even from the movie yesterday.
All the young people know about HIV and AIDS. We've all studied from it, but still, young people are still contracting HIV and AIDS. Do you have maybe an idea of why those numbers are still rising?
We certainly cannot attribute that to something. That is why we as Fundza try to bring these conversations to people, that they have these critical conversations to help shape their stories, to shape the stories they hear and the stories they themselves tell. So that's why Fundza is a literacy organization. We bring an array of topics, and HIV and AIDS happen to be one of those topics that we bring to the people through our mobile site, live.fundza.mobi.
Okay, so I do have an interesting question because you'd find there's been things that are brought forward to prevent the spread of HIV, as in condoms, and then there's the PrEP where you take the medicine.
Yes.
So doesn't it that, because you'd find people saying that, okay, if I'm having these pills, I don't really have to use a condom because it prevents me from actually contracting HIV. So what, like, in terms of how do we actually, because I'm repeating the question, like what other ways we can find to navigate and actually get to warn people that even though you do have these, but you do get the chances of actually being infected with the HIV?
So like I said, it's in these conversations, conversations such as this one that is brought to the people and really helping them know the information, visit your nearest clinic.
Yeah.
We also did that, we have these things coming from Fundza, catalogs. There's a catalog coming up called Please Forgive Me. It's about this topic of PrEP. Even though PrEP, you know, is a preventative measure to not contract HIV, it's still stigmatized that why are you taking PrEP? Are you promiscuous? So we need to have better conversations around that. It's part of the catalog that is coming up for Fundza that discusses that conversation.
Absolutely, and I really do agree. It's all about having conversations. More are just not just about being aware, but having a conversation, knowing that things can be definitely relatable to you. We're still going to come back with Fundza and find out more specifically about what their organization is about.
Yes.
Right now, though, we need to know what the people are saying in the streets.
Yes, and this year's theme for World AIDS Day is Rock the Ribbon. We went to the streets and actually to get to ask Abantu what do they think about this and what other views we can actually get for them. So let's check that out.
Not even. No, I don't think so. I feel like not too many people know. I didn't know until you just told me. So, yeah. I think more campaigns, especially approaching the day. You know, if more people know about it before it's the day, maybe people will actually remember that on the 1st of December it's World AIDS Day. So I think if people had more campaigns about it and, you know, talked about it more often, then we would always know that it's World AIDS Day on the 1st.
I think there's a lot more efforts that could be made, especially for the youth, you know, maybe because we like video content, so maybe more things like short films, advertisements can be made. I think in school it is in the textbooks, but it's not really recognized for, you know, young adults, and it's not a daily reminder.
I would think not. AIDS is still something that a lot of people fear talking about because of the stigma. But I think it should be an open conversation because it's happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people lost it, especially in our communities where we lost a lot of people.
I don't think there's enough awareness on World AIDS Day. Because, I mean, we go about our days, going about our business. I have to study. Somebody has to do their work. And AIDS is really the last thing that we want to think about. So it's good that there is that one day within the whole year that we can consider that, AIDS is a thing and it's there. It's a real thing. There are people dealing with it. And you can't just be ignorant. You also have to realize that you got to try and protect yourself as well. So there isn't much awareness out there, I think. But yeah, I love the fact that the day is there.
I feel like there's no awareness in Gako. And at the same time, I feel like why if make awareness about the day? Because why if exist a day? Why can't it be like throughout the whole year, like okokoko? Why must there be a specific day about awareness? It should be something okokoko. I can say abantu that are aware about this day ngabantu who are on socials. But if you can go to villages, nabantu abahlala ezilokishini who are not abangakho kwi-social media kakhulu, you'll find out they don't even know about kukwi day enjalo existayo and all that.
Well, seeing that it's World AIDS Day and no one knows about it, I don't think they're doing enough. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Such mixed views. One
Yes.
person is saying she feels like there are enough views, or rather conversation around the subject that is HIV and AIDS. The
Yeah.
other person is saying, actually, we need a little bit more awareness. But that's why organizations like Fundza are so, so amazing, making sure that you guys are not just knowing about this information, but knowing
Yes.
what can and cannot be done to keep yourself in the safe. And that is amazing. That's all we want from here at EKSE, to keep you and your family safe.
Ish, one thing I can say, I don't know how it feels sitting next to the rising star of the year. So let's go to an ad break. Sabuya after this.
You're killing me.